My name is Anna, and I'm the teaching assistant for the Nosework NW101 class that is starting on August 1st. I thought it would be a good idea to put together a simple video that demonstrates the supplies you will need, as well as how to prepare your Q-tips, your odor, and how to store things safely in between your sessions. So let's get started. If you are going to prepare your own Q-tips, you will need plain white cardboard Q-tips and preferably a nail trimmer in a guillotine type cutter. This makes cutting the Q-tips very easy and they don't fly all over the place. You will also need a small container, which you can get at the dollar store, to store your clean, unused Q-tips. This is a very important step, so make sure that you don't put used Q-tips in with the clean ones that have not yet been scented. I find it helpful to label the lid. This way there's no confusion. Simply insert the Q-tip and snap the tip off. You can cut them in half, or you can make them slightly shorter and discard the stem. Now that you have your Q-tips prepared, the next step will be to scent them. Regardless of which odors you're working with, the most important thing is to keep them all separate. Different size canning jars work very well for this. You can also use clean baby food jars, as long as you're not using anything plastic to store the scented Q-tips. It's very important that you use glass jars. Each one of my jars is labeled, and I have my odor stored inside. I keep the bottles with the odors and the droppers separate and store them in a cool, dry place. In order to prepare your scented Q-tips, you will need gloves or tweezers. Once you have scented the Q-tips, it is very important that you not touch them with your fingers, because you will transfer odor to everything you touch. I like to have an old cookie sheet as a tray in case there's any spillage. It's very easy to clean, and in really bad cases of spillage, it's easy to toss. You can get cookie sheets at the dollar store, which are very cost effective. I have each one of my jars labeled so that I keep my Q-tips separate. Once you have used a Q-tip in a tin, you do not want to put those Q-tips back in the general population of scented unused Q-tips. This is to avoid contamination. You can, however, keep the Q-tips in the tin and put them in a small plastic bag and store them in a cool, dry place, or even your freezer or refrigerator. I will now demonstrate how to prepare your scented Q-tips. I have a clean glass jar into which I will put a clean, dry cotton ball. Make sure you're using 100% cotton and not any synthetic fibers. This will preserve the integrity of the essential oil without altering it. I have my essential oil and my dropper, which I keep stored separately. Do not leave the dropper attached to your vial, because the plastic will affect the odor and can affect the essential oil as well. I put my lid inside the cover to the glass jar into which I store my essential oil. I will then take 3 drops of my oil and then I will put in my Q-tips. I cut 10 Q-tips, which gave me 20 Q-tip halves. Once my cotton ball is scented, I will toss the Q-tips into the jar, put the lid on, shake it around, and store it in a cool, dry place. I actually have a small tin and store my jars separately in the tin, and then keep this in a cool, dry place. You will notice that odor may travel throughout the tin, so it's best to keep your supplies stored in an area where your dog will not have free access. The last step will be to prepare your tin for your sessions. If you are doing a cocktail of 3 odors, birch, anise, and clove, you will take 1 scented Q-tip from each of your jars and place it inside your tin. If you are just doing 1 single odor, regardless of what it is, you will use 3 to 5 Q-tips in the tin. If you are using a cocktail, you will continue with 1 Q-tip of each scented odor for a total of 3 until we advise you how to break out the individual odors. Once you have placed your Q-tips in the tin, you want to keep this in a separate location and can store it either in a little plastic container or in a Ziploc bag. If you have multiple tins and will eventually be doing single odors, you can use a Sharpie to label the back of the tin so you know which tin has which odor. I hope you found this video to be helpful. We're very excited to have you in class and look forward to starting your nosework journey together, either in the forums or on the Facebook study group. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again.